because the customer's out. You just have about 60 left, then have another customer in the back, so from the back that goes uphill. I was like, Fred, you gotta cut that shit out. He's like, I took the nigga food, told him he'll lie, and bring it over. I was like, what? I said, okay, I can understand, you know, to a point. When you be like, some of the shit you say, he can't. Well, guess what? I'm here for it, because whether you succeed or fail, I had to fail, I'm swooping in on that goddamn building. I ain't lying.
You gonna do it like that?
You gonna be on that, I'll be there every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you fail and you swoop down on your building,
it's raining, honey.
Mia? We're not going to be on here long. I just wanted to show how to prep cups. And I guess, good morning, Amanda. She's doing a lot better than what she was, so I'll give her that. She was on the brink of death on yesterday, but she's up and she's about and she's moving now, so doing a lot better. So the very first question that a lot of people ask is about this little silver piece that's on the base of the cup. That's on most cups. I don't take it off. I don't pull mine off. That little silver tip right there, I don't pull it off. I always keep mine on there. Some people like to take it off. I'm the one that it doesn't bother me, so I keep mine on. It's not that important. The towel looks dirty, but it's really clean. Just wiping it down to take my hand grease off of it. Now, when they ship these cups, there's a clear coating on the top of these cups, and the clear coating on the top of these cups preventing them from scratching so much in the midst of shipping. These cups, I don't want to say they're not made to be decorated, but generally when it comes to these cups, before we start to put epoxy and all that glitter and stuff like that on them, before we start putting epoxy and glitter and stuff like that on them, they came just like this. So there's a protective film that's on these cups. I don't know if you can see it. Well, you should be able to see that really clear. In order to protect the cup from getting scratched. So what we have to do is you have to take that clear film off. Now, to be completely honest, when it comes to prepping cups, I rarely go through the prepping stage, but yeah, I've never really had any of my cups fall apart. So, or the epoxy just peel off like that. But I hear a lot of people who say that theirs have peeled off. So I'm not saying that it won't happen, but I'm just telling you from personal experience that none of mine have ever peeled off. But I'm going to show you the proper way on how to prep your cup in order to get your cup started. So this is just the cup out of the box. The sandpaper that I'm going to be using is 150 grit sandpaper. I've got this one from Michael's maybe, but like Home Depot sell it, Hobby Lobby sell it. Any craft store, any hardware, they sell it. This is the 150, so it's really, it's fine, super fine, but you can get a different grit that's a little bit grittier, I guess, if that's the word for it. But this is what the sandpaper look like. You can buy the block also. They've got the block, but I just use the paper because it's so much easier. Plus, it's a lot cheaper to use the paper, but you do go through a lot of it. I break mine off because I know I'm not going to be using the whole thing, so I'm going to just break off a small piece. And it doesn't matter where you start because you'll be able to see where you're working on what you're working on. Please feel free to ask any questions. If individuals you have any questions when it comes to this phase, a lot of people go through this prepping process simply because it, I guess, people cups are falling apart, and because their cups are falling apart. Hey, Jessica, how are you? because their cups are falling apart, they tend to want to know why. And a lot of people blame it on you not prepping your cup properly. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to prep it properly. All right. So it doesn't matter where you start, whether you start from the bottom or whether you start from the top, because once you start to scratching up this cup, you can tell where you started and where you ended. So this noise is annoying, by the way. So if you're one of those people that don't like the sound of scraping cups or like a fork against a plate, you might want to mute it at this point because it do get pretty loud. I typically have a mask on, but I can't find my mask. Jakey, how are you? Off topic, can I just mention that this group has been great for me. Every group has been so rude to me. I appreciate you all. I have ran into some groups that I tell you, boy, I promise you, I almost gave up crafting because of that group. They were that bad. So you can tell where it's dull on one side and it's shiny on the other. How it's been scuffed up on this side right here. And the other side is still really shiny, you can tell. Where it's been scuffed and where it's been worked on. So that's the worked on part. And then that's the shiny part. So you want to make sure that you get it all the way around the cup, even on the bottom. Finally got some downtime to watch. And also for those who the epoxy don't stay at the very top, or if you have it gritty at the top of it or at the bottom where it tends to be gritty, if you sand it really, really good, it'll end up putting some, it'll put grit on the cup, or to scrape the cup up good enough to where whenever you get ready to put the epoxy will sit on top of it. I have to show it to you better than I can tell you. But what we're working on is we're trying to get that clear coat that comes on the cup. We're trying to get that off. Good morning. I don't know if you can see it or not, but all that came off the cup. Making sure I get the very base of it. Even all the way up to the very tip of the cup. This is a problem that a lot of people have is when they're putting their epoxy on the cup, And they say the epoxy tend to peels back where it don't go all the way to the top of the cup. But if you sand the rim of your cup really good, it'll put the grooves in it. That's the word I was looking for. It'll put the sandpaper grooves into the cup. So when you're ready to put the epoxy on it, the epoxy will actually stay at the tip of the cup because the grooves are there in order to keep the epoxy from rolling back down or to keep the epoxy in place also. Miss Cox, how are you? Cassie, Brandy. Even the bottom is important. Gets really nasty, super nasty, which is the reason why it's important to actually wear a mask when you're doing this, because all that, the flake and the scale from the cup comes out. Good morning, Miss Resanding. I considered making this cut for you, but I decided not to. All right. So we've got the biggest of it. Hey, can you bring the alcohol that's right there? You see it on the back?
The blue spray bottle?
The alcohol, no man, right here. It's on the counter. Beneath that cup, that brown cup. Can you show pressure what alcohol is? Right there beneath the brown cup. Isn't that what that is?
No. That's no problem.
Oh, I'll take that. I just need to wipe the cup down.
Oh.
Vodka or water. This is water. It's too early for vodka. Don't be doing me like that. So now that we have it pretty much sanded the way we want it to, I'm just wiping it down, getting all the extra grit that was left on it, and seeing what spots I left. And this is just a properly sanded cup. Now it's not so shiny. It's actually dull. All of it, all the protective film has been taken off of it at this point. All right. So I know a lot of people talk about the chemicals when it comes to putting chemicals on the cup right before you put the epoxy on the cup. The water slide lady who was in here, Wendy, that was in here the other day, she was talking about how she don't put chemicals on her cup. For this purpose, this cup needs to be washed. So it's one or two ways that it can be done, whether you just want to wash it in some Dawn dishwashing liquid and some warm water, or if you want to put the chemicals on the cup, alcohol or whatever the case it is, in order to remove the stuff off. I know a lot of people just wash it down. But for my sake, I'm just going to put a bit of nail polish remover on it, which is the same as alcohol, in order to just wipe it down. And then I go back and wash it in order to wipe the alcohol off of it, in order to get the polish remover off of it, right? And there you have it. You got your properly prepped cup. If you strip a cup, should you resand it? It depends because I have a stripped cup up here. Let me see where it is. Hey, Zayden, can you go get that cup off my desk? Hurry. It's a silver cup like this. Some of them you have to, like this one, I know that I'm going to have to because you got those clumps of epoxy or whatever that's still left on it. This is one that I did in, I haven't put anything on it in order to get it wiped down, but you do want to resand it once you strip it, because if you don't, then you're going to have all kinds of residues just left around on the cup. Yeah, it's got to be wiped down some more, or I've got to put my stuff on it. But to strip, once you strip it, I would resand it, only because you've got all kind of chemicals and stuff like that that's still on the cup. Plus, you probably have some leftover residue that the epoxy may or may not stick to. So my suggestion is to strip it. And this one is ready to go. Stacy with an I. It's good, ready to go. It's been properly prepped. At this point, it just needs to be washed down. Once it's washed down in some warm water with some Dawn dishwashing liquid, it's ready to go in the turner, in which I think I just may do that here shortly to give you a preview of what the Louis Vuitton cup is going to look like. So I will, it's 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, I don't know if I have time to finish it, but at least I'll try it. But if you have any questions, definitely just inbox me or inbox any of the admins. We've been more than elated to help you out. If you have any more questions, comments, concerns for me at this point, we can go ahead and talk about it now before I hop off and get started on my next project. No questions? We're good? Everybody got this?
Oh, you have to eat that first, Raya.